Hello everyone! The clip that you are about to see is a clip that I sent to Kim Isaac with Autism with Excellence, who is our RDI consultant, our Relationship Development Intervention Consultant. That's always such a mouthful. I sent this clip to her because Samara and I have struggled for a long time with questions, asking her questions, and I'm always a bit confused about what exactly is happening when I ask her questions and what's going on with our communication. And so I sent her this clip because I thought it was a really good example of what we experience oftentimes when we ask her a question. And she responded back with a video and a little bit of feedback. And I thought I wanted to just share it with you as well, because I know I'm not the only parent that goes through this and is really trying to help their child with their communication. And I also think it's a good example or a good reminder that it's not all on our kids. You know, it's not like just send them to school, just send them to speech, and you know, that's it. It's really up to the parents too to be aware of the way that we communicate with our kids so that we can help them as well. So I'm gonna let you watch this clip. I've put this up with Kim's permission, and we're gonna have a little more discussion about this in the comments below on YouTube. So if you want to follow along or you want to see more on this channel, don't forget to hit the like on this video, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications. Let's get on with the video.
Hi, Kat. I wanted to send you a video review via Zoom. I thought your video was very interesting and lots of things to think about, actually. I'm going to share my screen. I know you're not seeing me. I don't have my camera on, but I am. Oh, oops, hold on. Okay. Wanted to share the screen. There's a few things that came to mind when I was watching this. One of them is really watching her nonverbal language in response to your communication, because she, in some ways, what it looked like is she was answering you, but nonverbally a bit. And also her verbal reply was interesting to me because I interpreted it a little bit different, or at least as a possible something. So I'm curious about what your thoughts are going to be. But when she replied to you and she said question mark, and she started kind of making some comments and sounds and stuff, I almost felt like she was trying to have a conversation, like reciprocating with you, but she just didn't know what to say. So I want to look at this with you. I'm going to pause at certain points, but I wanted you to know, the other thing is, when you ask her the question, what are you having for breakfast this morning, I felt like it's possible that she kind of grabbed on to the last part of what you asked, when, like this, this morning versus the first part of the question, because she answered with a day of the week. And so anyway, I want to watch, but there's a lot of different things here to think about and untangle. So let me push play.
What are you eating for breakfast this morning?
It's Thursday.
So you can actually hear her kind of under her breath there. It sounded like morning. You could see her processing a little. You could actually almost hear her say, morning, it's Thursday. So I felt like, let me rewind it a little so you can hear that again.
It is Wednesday, but what are you eating for breakfast?
Let me just...
It's Thursday.
Oh, wait, hold on. Sorry. Getting it back to the part. We'll just go back.
What are you eating for breakfast this morning?
It's Thursday.
It is Wednesday, but what are you eating for breakfast?
Hello, breakfast.
So right there, you actually rephrased your question to where instead of adding this morning, you said, what are you eating for breakfast? And, you know, she definitely receptively understood you because she held up her cereal and she looked at her cereal.
Why did you do not finish it? What? Why? Why am I question mark?
Question marks. Question marks are hard, huh? Looks like you're eating Lucky Charms for breakfast.
Lucky Charms.
So that was just so interesting to me because she really did answer, but she answered non-verbally. She kind of held up her bag and looked at that. And when she started, it sounded like she even said the word friendship or something. And she goes, why? And question mark. And, you know, there's could be obviously so many different reasons, but watching this with, you know, all these little pieces and nuances looking closely, I feel like either A, you know, she was trying to sort of make some kind of reciprocal conversation with you and just didn't know how. Or B, maybe she, you know, had something she really wanted to ask you in the form of a question, but didn't know how to form the question. So what's interesting to me about this, and actually let's just rewind that part again so you can see that again too.
What? Hello, friendships. Why did you not finish it? What?
It sounds like something, by the way, she's saying, what to do with friendship or something. She's trying to say something. It's a little unclear, but I heard the word friendship maybe in there.
Why? Why am I question mark?
Question marks. Question marks are hard, huh? Looks like you're eating Lucky Charms for breakfast.
Lucky Charms.
So, you know, in a moment like that, watching her nonverbal communication, so like when you asked her, you know, what are you eating for breakfast, and she held up her bag, you definitely want to acknowledge, you know, oh, you're showing me you're eating Lucky Charms, you know, because it's all of this I know is very tricky and there's a lot of different aspects to it, but she was responding in some way. And so when you're noticed, and sometimes we won't always notice, so I also don't want you to think that you have to be staring and watching and catching all of these things, but you know, clearly I feel like receptively she did understand when the question was more concise and phrased without too many words. So like when you, instead of saying, what are you eating for breakfast this morning, you said, what are you eating for breakfast? She held on to that final part of that key word, which definitely could be a bit of, you know, auditory processing differences, and also a little bit of that associative memory. It's like breakfast, oh, my cereal, and, you know, she held it up. And same thing with when you first asked and said, you know, what are you eating for breakfast this morning? You know, it seemed like she kind of latched on to this morning. This morning is, you know, she thought it was Thursday, or maybe she took a guess. I don't know. And then when she did start talking, you know, like back with you after, and she was making those comments about the why and question mark and stuff, I really interpreted as she was sort of trying to have a conversation with you. And it reminds me developmentally a little bit of like younger, like infants, when they kind of babble back and forth and, you know, they don't have words yet, but they do attempt to form certain sounds or words just to show there's some reciprocity there. So I felt like she was definitely trying to show you this, you know, attempt like a conversation, but, you know, the actual language part of it seems quite challenging for her. So I hope this video makes sense. I want you to maybe watch it again, and also just watch the video on your own again. And I also want to ask you if it's okay if I share this clip with some of my speech pathologist friends, because I'd be very curious about what their thoughts are in terms of the actual language aspect, and also what they're noticing too about the communication. Because on one hand, I saw this as an extremely, it was very telling. There was a lot of information there, and there's a lot to sort out, of course, but there was so many positive things as well. Just that she receptively was showing understanding, just not verbalizing it per se, and then also her solid attempts to communicate, even though, again, the language issue, the actual spoken words are definitely a challenge for her. So anyways, please ask me any questions you have about this feedback. I want to make sure that what I was conveying made sense to you, and I also want to know what your thoughts are about what I'm sharing. And again, also, if you could just let me know if it's okay to share this clip with a couple of colleagues who would have some insight into more specifically the language and communication aspect. So I love this. If you can share any other similar clips, I think that would be fantastic. But this was a very, very clear example of just kind of watching her process and the attempts that she's making, and and also of your communication and how you made adjustments that were appropriate, to help her better understand and also clarify things. So, okay, I will talk to you soon.